Hi, my name is Ashwini Kumar and welcome to my channel. So as I already told that from today onwards you are going to get the series of the videos regarding the UGC NET paper 1, that is the teaching and research aptitude. So as a part of this course it is the first video which is going to deal the first part of the first unit, that is the teaching aptitude. So it is the syllabus of the first unit, that is the these are all the topics of the teaching aptitude. So here the first topic is the teaching, and the next one is the learning characteristics, factors affecting teaching, methods of teaching, teaching support system, and the evaluation system. So all these are all the topics of the first unit, that is the teaching aptitude. And in this video, we are going to see the first part, that is the teaching. Okay. So first we will see what are the subtopics are there in this teaching topic: concept of teaching, objectives of teaching, levels of teaching, and characteristics and basic requirements of the teaching. Right. So these are all the subtopics of the first topic, that is the teaching in the first unit. So before going into the concept of teaching, first we will see what is the aims of the teaching. So the aim of the teaching is that we have to change the behavior of the students, and we have to improve the learning skills of the students, and we have to change the behavior and the conduct. That means we have to shape the behavior and the conduct of the student as per the present society, and the acquisition of the knowledge and imparting the knowledge to their brains. And we have to create some type of a belief to the student that they can able to success in their future or in their career. So all these are all the aims of the teaching that a teacher has to remember in his mind before going to the teaching to any students. And next, so coming to our concept, the first concept or the first topic is the concept of teaching. So the concept of teaching is that it is a sharing of information or knowledge from one person to the another person. So one person to the another person means here the one person is nothing but a teacher and the other persons are nothing but a student. That means sharing the knowledge from teacher to the student, and sometimes it might be the reverse also, from student to the teacher. Why? Because a teacher is always a learner, right? So whatever the knowledge he is having, he shares his knowledge or information to the student, and whatever the doubts are there, those doubts will be shared to the teacher, and the teacher starts analyzing based upon those doubts and again imparting the knowledge to clear the doubt to the student. And in the traditional concept, that means in the olden days, the teaching is nothing but just acting some kind of instruction. That means giving some kind of instructions to the learners in the classroom situation. So giving the instructions means whatever the concept is there in the textbooks, that concept will be delivered to the learners or the students in the classrooms. But while coming to the modern concept, teaching is not only the giving instructions to the students or not only giving knowledge to the students, it is also give the desired knowledge, and we have to improve the skills of the students, and it is very much essential in the present way of living in the society. So these are all the concepts of the teaching. And while coming to the expert views, so few experts gave their definitions to the teachings. Coming to the H.C. Morrison, the teaching is an intimate contact between the more mature personality and a less mature one. So here the more mature personality is a teacher and the less mature one is a student. And coming to the Jackson, teaching is a face-to-face encounters between two or more persons. One of them is the teacher intends to effect certain changes in the other participants, nothing but students. And coming to the J.B. Hogg and James K. Donson, the teaching is an activity with three phases. So here the three phases. What are the three phases? Is nothing but building up the curriculum phase. That means building the curriculum, and then instruction phase, and the third one is a evaluation phase. So with the help of these three phases, the teaching activity will be done. So first we have to build up the proper curriculum, and we have to instruct whatever the curriculum we build up. We have to instruct the curriculum or the concepts to the students, and after giving the instructions or after giving the lessons or the classes to the students, Evaluating phase means conducting the exams to the students, and after conducting we are going to evaluate the papers. So with the help of evaluation we can able to understand the knowledge levels of the students. So how far they understood the concepts and how far they can able to retrieve the memorized concepts, all these things. So coming to the NL gauge, teaching is a interpersonal influence aimed at changing the behavior potential of another person. So gauge is also focusing the same concept that the teacher is an influenced person. He can able to change the behavior of the another person. Another person is nothing but a student here. Next, clerk. So the teaching refers to activities that are designed and performed to produce in the student's behavior. So most of the experts view is that teaching is nothing but a changing the behavior of the students such that they can able to cope up in their future in a better way. Coming to the Smith, the teaching is a system of actions intended to produce learning process. Next, coming to the objectives of teaching. So it is the second concept. The objectives of the teaching is nothing but desired changes in the people. That means we have to bring some required or the desired changes in the students by giving proper instructions and by your way of teaching and all these things. And we have to shape the behavior and conduct of the students. So acquisition of the knowledge, and we have to improve the learning skills of the students. So improving some belief in the students for their better future, and we have to provide the social and efficient member of the society. So of course the objectives and aim of the teaching, both these two looks similar. Next, levels of teaching. So generally we are having the three different levels of teaching are there. The first one is the memory level, second one is the understanding level, and third one is the reflective level. So here I took one small example to make you understand what exactly the memory level, understanding level, and the reflective level is that. So let's take it's a car, it's a toy car. So initially in the childhood the people are going to read that C for the car, A for the apple, and B for the ball, and C for something. Okay, here C for the car, like that. It is nothing but a memory level. Okay, this level of teaching is nothing but a memory level. Coming to the understanding level, after coming to the higher classes and all these things, the students starts learning what exactly the machinery will be there and how the cars will run and what is the principle of these machineries. All these things they are going to learn. And coming to the research process, so this level is nothing but a understanding level. That means the students are trying to understand what exactly happening inside the machineries or inside the system. And coming to the third level, after understanding, they will put up into the research process. That means it is fully automated the cars, which enables automatic braking system and automatic driving system, all these things. So building up or producing or manufacturing or giving ideas to build up such type of automatic cars is nothing but a reflective level. So it is the upper thoughtful level. The first one is a thoughtless. That means the candidate need not to think anything. And the next one is a thoughtful teaching. That means we have to teach the students in order to make them understand what exactly the process is and how the systems are working within the machine, like that. And the third one is a reflective. So reflective is a upper thoughtful level. Generally the teacher participation in this reflective level is less, but because the student has to reflect himself whatever the concepts he studied in the understanding level, right? So it comes in the memory level, and this stage is understanding level, and this stage is a reflective level. So coming to the memory level, we'll see some more in detail. The objective of the memory level of teaching is just to impart information or knowledge to the learner. That is giving the information or knowledge, whatever is there in the textbooks or something, to the learners or the students. This knowledge or information is factual in nature, which is acquired through a mechanical process, nothing but a just simply memorization. But because in this stage, that means in the memory level, our brain is just acting like a tape recorder. So whatever it is listening, it simply memorize, right? And the students learn to identify. That means the students has to learn to identify. That means they have to learn from the textbooks or any sources, and they have to recall whatever the concepts they memorize. They have to recall or remember the objects or events or ideas and concepts and retain them in the memory. Okay, so learning, recalling, and again memorizing. Why? Because as a student, the student has to recall or the rememorize in the at the time of examinations, otherwise he will be failed, right? So these are all the different things. It is the first stage of that means the memory level is the first stage of teaching to get factual information. It is very useful for the students in the lower classes only because of their intellect is under development and they have a rote memory. And the teacher dominated methods, generally the teacher dominated methods in this memory understanding level is memory level is drills, reviews, revisions, and asking the questions such that the student can memorize the learned things again and again. The evaluation system mainly includes oral, written, and essay type examinations. Memory level teaching acts as a first step for understanding and the reflective level of teaching. It is a prerequisite for the understanding level of teaching. And coming to the advantages of this memory level teaching is it is useful only for the young children's and acquisition of facts, information of models and structures they are going to get. It helps students to learn the new concepts and useful for the slow learners, and it is a basic for the understanding and reflective level of teaching. Coming to the disadvantages for higher class students, the memory level understands so the memory level teaching it's not workable, and the dominance of teacher, that means in the MLT, that is memory level teaching, the teacher will be the dominant part and very less interaction in the classroom, but because the teacher keeps on teaching and the students keeps on listening, there is no room for creativity in the students. Coming to the understanding level, understanding means comprehending, that means analyzing, to grasp and to have the knowledge to learn, to interpret and to infer, etc. So it is memory plus insight. That means it is just going beyond the memorizing. Okay, it is not only the memorizing, it is just beyond the memorizing, and it focuses on the mastery of the subject. So once if you start understanding the concepts, whatever we are learning or memorizing, then we will become the master in the subject. It makes people understand the generalizations, principles, and what exactly the facts. It provides more and more opportunities for the students to develop the intellectual behavior. So for the intellectual behavior and for the creativity knowledge, this understanding level plays a very vital role in the students. And coming to the merits of this ULT, that is understanding level teaching, effective learning, development of different abilities, and effective classroom interaction. So because whenever the student starts understanding the concepts, he will raise the doubts to the teachers. Then automatically the interaction will happen between the students and the teachers. Coming to the demerits, less emphasis on the intrinsic motivation and no individualizing learning, and it is completely the teacher centered. So completely teacher centered means it depends upon the way of students we are dealing with. Why? Because understanding levels will be less out of the 100% of the students. So most of the times here, whatever the teacher is telling in the understanding level of teaching, then automatically to less number of students out of the 100% it may reach, right? So these are all the demerits. And coming to the reflective level. So reflective level is the highest level of teaching learning activity. The students are assumed to adopt some type of a research to solve the problem. So in this reflective level, they will first memorize one concept and they will understand that concept, and after memorizing and understanding they will try to apply that concept to any one problems, right? So just like in our UGC NET exam also, if any some problems are given, then we have to memorize the formulas. So whatever the formulas we memorized, we have to understand that formula. So if you understand that formula, then only you can able to apply some modified formula to the problem. Then only you can able to solve the problems. So it is a problem-centric approach of teaching, and the aim of this reflective power of learners, so that they can solve the problems of their lives by reasoning, logic, and imagination, lead successful and happiest lives. So these are the merits or the demerits. So the merits are most thoughtful mode, learner centered approach, development of problem solving and self motivation, and development of creativity. It won't applicable for lower classes. It is very much time consuming, and it is not applicable for dull students. This is extra burden to the teachers to make the students in reflective level of teaching. And coming to the characteristics of teaching, so here the few characteristics I mentioned, that is a system of actions, professional activity, subject to analysis and assessment, interactive process, specialized task, and a collection of various modes. So while coming to the system of actions, so the teaching is nothing but a different system of actions. It varies with respect to the content related and with respect to the students behavior, it changes, and depending upon the physical and social conditions. That means a teacher must be changing, or the teacher has to do the different actions based upon the content and based upon the students behavior and based upon the physical and social conditions. And while coming to the professional activity, so it is a professional activity involving a teacher and student with a view to the development of students personality, right? The student's personality has to be developed with respect to the professional activity of the teacher, and this professionalism helps students in being regular and making harmony with their objects towards those they are concentrated, right? And coming to the subjected to be analysis and assessment. So teaching can be analyzed and assessed, and analysis and assessment provide feedback for further improvement. That means uh, how we are teaching and all these things, we are going to get the feedback of the students. So whenever the students giving the feedback, then we are going to analyze our teaching and we can able to do assess our teaching. So always our teaching can be analyzed with respect to the feedbacks coming from the students. And next one is the interactive process. The teaching is highly dominated by communication skills. The teaching is an interactive process carried with purpose and objectives. And coming to the specialized task, so the teachers, it is a specialized task with a set of skills for realization of the certain objectives. And coming to the collection of various modes, a teaching is a collection of various modes of itself. So collection is nothing but conditioning, training, instruction, indoctrination, and different things. So these are the different things or the modes which includes in the characteristics of the teachings. That means first of all we have to train, and from the training we have to learn some new concepts, and from these new concepts whatever we learned, we are going to teach those new concepts to the students, and those students has to understand the concepts, and we have to properly evaluate whether the students are understanding whatever the things we are, whatever the concepts we are teaching to them or not. So all these things are comes under the collection of the various modes. And next, what are the basic requirements of the teaching? So the basic requirements of the teaching is, or the three variables of the teaching that I will say in the next slide. Then the second one is the professionalism. The teaching, the way of teaching and the teacher must be very professional, and the suitable environment must be there. The place where we are teaching, whether it is a classroom or it is a auditorium or any type of, or it's a seminar hall, whatever thing it is, the environment must be very suitable and a completely disturbance-less environment. And teacher student relationship is very important requirement, that the relationship between the teacher and student must be very healthy, and the students discipline is also very important, because most of us as a teachers, if few students are not behaving very well in the classroom at the time of teaching, definitely the teacher may deviate. That means whatever the concepts he or she wants to deliver, that will be definitely distracted if the students discipline is not properly maintained. And coming to the teacher's devotion to the teaching, and also on the other hand students devotion to the learning, the teacher must be devoted to the teaching, and the student must be devoted to the learning, right? So of course nowadays this concept is not completely happening, because teachers are not completely devoting to the students, because they are not getting proper salaries, and the students are not at all devoting to the learning due to different distractions. Only 10% of the students are focusing on the learnings. Of course, whatever the concept I told to this sixth point, it is myself thing. It is, don't remember this one for the exam purpose. And next, so as I told here that the variables, the three variables of the teaching, that these are the three variables. The first one is the dependent variable, second one is the independent variable, and third one is the intervening variables. So coming to the dependent variable, the student is a dependent variable, and the faculty or the teacher is an independent variable. And the bridge which is acting between the teacher and student, those are all the intervening variables. So what is the bridge acting between the student and the teaching is that see here the different the teaching methods and the techniques what we are using, and the tactics, what are the tactics we are doing to make the students understandable strategies, and the instructional material. That means you are teaching on the blackboard, or with respect to the projectors or the teaching environments. So whatever the supporting medium are there, all these things are acting like a intervening variables, and the teacher is an independent variable. Why? Because he is responsible for the functioning of the students. He should not change. That means whatever the concept the teacher wants to deliver, he shouldn't change with respect to the surrounding variables, right? So that's why here the teacher must be like an independent variable. He is free to act in the process, while students are quite dependent on him. And coming to the students are completely dependent variable. Why? Because they're subjected to changes and developments to the efforts of the teacher and the teaching process. So based upon the teacher or based upon the teaching process, the student has to continuously update, or the student has to continuously change in order to get the maximum knowledge from the teachers, right? So these are all the different basic requirements of the teaching. And in the next video I'm going to tell you the second topic, that is learners characteristics. So right now in this video, whatever the topics we discussed is that, so it is the first unit syllabus. Total 6 topics are there. So out of the 6 topics, in this video I completely discussed about the first topic, that is the teaching. And whatever the concepts I discussed in this video, those are all the subtopics of this teaching. So in the subtopics are concept of teaching, objectives of teaching, levels of teaching, and characteristics and basic requirements of the teaching. So the concept of teaching is, teaching is nothing but the sharing of information or knowledge. In the olden days, it's just only whatever the concept is in the textbook, we're just delivering to the students. In the modern concept, it is not enough. We have to improve the skills of the students to make them better life. And the few expert views definition of the teachings and the objectives of teaching. So the main objective of the teaching is imparting the knowledge to the students and improving the learning skills and changing the behavior of the students and improving the belief to the students. And the levels of teaching: memory, understanding, and reflective. Memory is the starting level. It is in this stage our brain is acting, the student's brain is acting like just a tape recorder. Whatever the teacher is telling, it simply goes to the memory. And that means at the same time they must be the students must be capable to recall. So because in the examination times the students has to recall whatever the concepts they memorize. And the next one is understanding level. So whatever the concepts they are learning, they must be understandable. That means the teacher has to tell like that. Third one is the highest level, that is the reflective level. So where the creativity starts from this reflective level only. So few merits and demerits are there for all the memory level and understanding level and the reflective level. Of course, the demerits of the reflective level is a general thing. We can't apply for the low level classes for the dull students, and it will be the very extra burden to the teachers. And coming to the characteristics of the teaching, first one is the system of actions. That means the teacher has to do so many actions, just like actions doing hero in the cinemas, based upon the students' behaviors and based upon the changes in the curriculum. So whatever the things, different actions we have to do. And the professional activity, the teacher must be very professional. It shows impacts on the students' behavior or students' learning skills. And subject to the analyze, that means if a teacher has to analyze is the teaching methodology, then the feedback must be necessary from the students. And the next one is the interactive process. Always the classroom must be in the interactive process only. It should not be just like a only teacher is teaching and the students are learning. So it is just like the passive type of learning, passive type of teaching it is. So always the interaction must be there between the teachers and the students. And the next one is specialized task. So specialized task means here the teacher has to do the different tasks to improve the skills of the students. And collection of various modes. Various modes means just like taking the training, and whatever the training we took, we have to learn them, and after learning we have to we have to impart that updated knowledge to the students and make them understand. So all these different things will be comes under the characteristics of the teaching. And the basic requirements of the teaching are first 3 variables of teaching. that is dependent. Here the student is dependent and the teacher is independent, and whatever the methodologies and the strategies we are using to make the students understand, all these are comes under the intervening variables. And the professionalism has to be maintained, suitable environment must be there, teacher student relationship and all the interaction, students discipline also must be there, and the teachers has to be devoted to the teaching and the students has to be devoted to the learning, right? So it is a summary of this video, and in the next video we are going to see the learners characteristics. So it is a video, and final thing is subscribe the channel, and after subscribing please share to the candidates, to your friends or colleagues who are preparing for the UGC NET exam. Thank you.